Welcome to Nintendo K channel. I am Danny. Welcome to another edition of Retro Unboxing, where we celebrate the past in the modern day. This is the original copy of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, released on Nintendo 64. It is my child copy, and to mark its celebration, today is, as of this video, is the 25th anniversary, and this was originally released on November 21st, 1998. Now, it's crazy to think that these same hands, these crusty old hands, 25 years ago, was holding this copy. This is my child copy, and I'm really ecstatic to be revisiting this game, unboxing for you guys. If you're wondering, if you've never seen it, this is your episode to check it out, and also to celebrate the mark such a milestone in gaming history. This is considered for me one of the best games of all time, and also the best Zelda game ever, for many reasons. It does set the standard for 3D Zelda games that came after it. But before I want to get inside and show you everything around, I'm going to show you the box itself. Of course, in front, you see this glossy finish, and the reason for it is it's a collector's edition. It does show some information here. It's compatible with the Rumble Pack, the controller, of course. It's rated E for everyone. It's good for everyone to play, of course, right? And it's only for Nintendo 64. On the top panel here, we have just the game logo and the Nintendo 64 logo. On the side panel, we have a really nice image of Link with a bow and arrow and the Nintendo 64 logo. On the opposite side, we just have the, again, the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time logo, Nintendo 64. On the bottom, same thing. And on the back is where it gets very interesting. It gives a nice synopsis of the story itself, some of the features that you have in the game. It's interesting to read that there's up to 3 games can be saved simultaneously to memory, so it was a big feature back then. Nice screenshots, and of course, with any retro game, you would use this. At least for me, I would go into the store and look at this, but I already knew I wanted this game long time, being a Nintendo Power fan. So yeah, this is the box. But before I get into the box, I want to speak of Nintendo Power itself. I do remember that way back, I was ordering this game and asked my parents to get it. And I did order it directly from Nintendo. One of the nice perks about it, they gave this bundle here with the game. First is the soundtrack. This is the original soundtrack that came with it. I'll just open it up and quickly show you guys. These are the tracks, right? And there's the artwork on the CD itself. On the back side, it does show that it has a total of 29 tracks. Really sweet. And you can see the copyright date here is 1998, and the music is by Koji Kondo, the legendary composer for many Mario and Zelda games, and he's still around at Nintendo to this day. Really nice. And you won't be any complete with a player's guide back in the day. You have to have these. I personally didn't really use this, but I do appreciate these type of stuff because look at the cover. The artwork is fantastic. Link with the bow and arrow. You saw that on the box earlier, but this is now in full color. You can see here the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time official Nintendo Player's Guide. Is written by Nintendo Power themselves. I'm going to flip through it very quickly just to give you guys a glimpse of it. So this is Shigeru Miyamoto, October 10, 1998, as a forward from them. All right, and this beautiful artwork of the map itself. Just going through it quickly. There is a little insert there. I'll show you guys in a minute what it's all about, because there is a reason. Look at that. Ain't that crazy? All the beautiful artwork, and of course the strategies, how to go through the dungeons, and the characters and the enemies that you'll be encountering in the world. There's Sheik there. Wow. All the various items, temples. Ooh, the temple, the water temple. I just saw that. Spirit Temple. Yeah, right there. Spirit Temple. One of my favorites of all time. My goodness. The boss right there, Twinrova. And just this is the end of last page here. And in the back it says "Live the Legend," and they have all the description of what this play guide is all about. So there was a little insert in there you probably saw. So I kept this all the way back as a memento, and this is proof that I did order from Nintendo. So you can see right there on this little description, I got the pack Zelda Ocarina, and the price that I paid back then, $55.05 USD. And yeah, accounting for inflation, I think it's a good deal. Nintendo did do a good job offering that to me. You can see the date of invoice was November 20th, 1998. Yeah, I'm that old. I feel really ancient looking at that. All right, so let's get into the actual game box itself. I'm going to open it up and show you guys what's inside. It's just like when you got this back all the way back in 1998, 25 years ago. Starting with the inserts, all right, and actually the gist of it, right, is the actual cartridge. This is what makes it a collector's edition because it is the gold cartridge. And if you have the standard edition, you have the gray, the standard gray, like in any Nintendo 64 release. I do like that the label is gold as well. It matches very well on top all the way around. That's how it looks. Beautiful, right? On the sides as well. There is no point that is gray. And of course the slot, well, this is where you insert in the slot of the system. Beautiful. All right, so with any Nintendo 64 release, you have the consumer information and precautions booklet, just safety information, legal stuff, you know, things that all of us would love to read when you were younger. I'm just joking, but this is just in case you're wondering what it is, you know, it's there for you to as a reference of what's all about. All right, next, this is getting fun. Again, we're greeted with this beautiful artwork of Link with the bow and arrow, and there's a little, this is interesting. I have the player's guide right here, but this is the preliminary artwork for the player's guide. But yeah, there you go, the things have changed, right? This is a couple of the various items and merch that you can get, which is really unusual back then, because right now we do take it for granted. We can get tons of Mario, Zelda, Nintendo merch now, but it wasn't like that back then. So here we have a description of, you know, you're subscribing to a full year of Nintendo Power magazine, and you get some of the freebies. Like obviously you get the subscription. This is the issue that covered Ocarina of Time, so great artwork there again. We have, this is the player's guide, what I mentioned earlier, and this is the stuff that you can order. So back then you would actually fill this out, send it in. Old school, there was no internet really. And here on the back is what you can order. You can see some figures like Link and Ganondorf, the soundtrack that I showed earlier, some t-shirts, sweater, hats, and this interesting pocket watch, really neat. And this is a really unusual thing. This is a storage case for your system, controller, and games. So if you want to keep it nice and tidy, that is an option for you. So yeah, this is the ordering, or I should say the Nintendo Power ordering insert. Now we're here at the manual. I love manuals. I do miss it quite a lot. And modern day, they don't do it like they used to. It's crazy. And if you don't know why, you'll see why when I open it up. So we greet it with this gorgeous gold and just the logo. Simple, but my gosh, it makes a statement. It's just Zelda all around. Flipping to the first page, you got the contents and Nintendo seal of quality. You know it's quality, right? And it's E for everyone, because this game is for everyone, of course. Starting with the Nintendo 64 controller, obviously they tell you how to hold it and where to plug it. They, from everything from top to bottom, they'll get you in. And the crazy thing is, a lot of gamers nowadays, at least the younger one, they don't know a lot of the moves. And this insert, obviously this instruction booklet will tell you everything. So we start with the story. They want to give you a preface of what's going on. And you have a little imagery of the Great Deku Tree in the Kokiri Forest and what's happening. So, you know, it's a nice introduction to get into the lore of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. Wow, look at this. Look at the character. You can see just by itself, you have various with the enemy. You have Talon, Malon, and Ingo. They're modeled after Mario and Luigi, right? If you never knew, the resemblance is quite cunning, right? We have the Kokiri kids or people. They label people in the manual. We have the Zoras, we have the Goron, and of course young Link as well. You have the map of Hyrule itself. Very small, you know, now that we're so acquainted with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, it's much more simplistic, and that's what I like about it. It's easy to grasp and not too overly complex. But we evolve from that, of course, right? So starting the game, we have all the things that you register your name. They have sound options back then. So it's interesting to see that you can select stereo, mono, headset, and surround. And if you're fortunate to have a surround system, I did play this game. My parents were fortunate to let me use their surround system. I believe it was a Dolby Pro Logic system at the time. And you could hear things going behind you with the speakers behind, which is amazing. One of the innovative features of this game was the Z targeting. You can see here they described it, and it would literally lock on the enemy, and you would keep your sight on the enemy as you fight along, or reorientate your camera to center on the screen. So very innovative. I think still a lot of games to this day use that functionality that started with the Ocarina of Time. We have some navigation and targeting. We have Navi, obviously our trusty companion, does a lot for us. Give us a lot of tips. I'll leave you guys for that one. I'm sure you have thoughts about Navi itself. Reading the game screen, so it tells you what you need to know about navigating and understanding what is the HUD. You have the hearts, the rupees, the map, the C buttons. You can map that, which is another innovative feature. You can you obviously customize it the way you want and change the way how you play. So that is really nice. You have the different screens. So equipment, the map, the quest status, etc. We have the control itself. So yes, I did mention about modern day kids may not know how to control a game properly because they don't know all the moves. They have to pretty much experiment. But back then, you really had a book to guide your way and understanding the movements. You could tell even what the control stick does, the Z button, even the start button, everything, and what they do and how to perform various motion. And they have these graphics of Link moving to pretty much explain itself. So you don't really have to read much. Even if you're a kid, you don't know how to read. You can kind of tell by just the diagrams and imagery that's on the instruction booklet. So here we have a description of the A button. The A button does a lot, and you can see Link can climb on ladder, throw bombs, climb over objects, push a block. Oh my goodness, so many things. Simple button, but does so much. Using the sword, how to swing it in various forms. My goodness, the spin swing, the stab. You could even like crouch and just stab your enemy. You can roll. The roll, you need to use that, right, to break various things. So yeah. We have here is the select item sub screen. So this is the screen where you have your inventory. Some of the various things that you can get is like the slingshot, the Deku stick. From the very beginning of your adventure, you have young Link right there with the slingshot. I won't say much. Yeah, but if you haven't played it, I'm assuming you guys played it. This has been 25 years, but you haven't, definitely play it. I do highly recommend it. Some of the various items that's in the game: Deku Nut, the Ocarina of Time. That's what the game is named after, of course. And some of the standard items that you find in modern day Zelda is still here, like the bomb. We have some unusual, like the bomb chew, which is nuts. The hook shot has been in various Zelda games after this one. We have the hammer, the Megaton hammer, the fairy bow, yeah, and of course the various arrows that you can get in the game. We have here is the sub-menu, the select item. So some of the items that I mentioned, you saw earlier a little bit, is the Din's Fire, the Pharaoh's Wind, and the Nairu's Love. And it does cost MP. So that is the gauge that you have to keep a track of and refill as you use it up. And this is what you use to fill up the meter. Like this one here is the green that refills the magic, right? And this one does a little different. This is the life, the red one, and the blue replenishes both of them. So you had an option to use that to have both replenish. You have some mask, right? So it made an appearance there. If you guys know that about, it's a nice collectible. So definitely get those. We have the equipment sub screen. So various items you can get. The bracelet. This is where Link will gain over time as he goes through his adventure, and it will increases your ability to do certain things. Or I should say, increase the stats, and you can hold a lot of things like bombs or arrows and Deku seeds, right? The various swords, the various shield, the various outfits, and the various boots that you can get. So Link can be all decked out. And what I like to do back then was to customize my look a little bit. It's like the days before you can customize your character, but sometimes I would like to wear the red, like the Goron tunic, with the mirror shield, right, when you go into the Gerudo area and all that stuff. So that's pretty how I play it back then. As I go along, we have this quest status sub screen. This one I do remember very fondly, this musical score area, and this game is very heavily dependent on using the ocarina to play your songs, because it's very the gameplay is very dependent on that, and you can do a lot of things with it. So it's sometimes you don't remember the themes as you start playing. I would refer to that. I do remember very fondly going there a lot. You will use the C stick to use the ocarina, and that tells you right there the effects of the ocarina and how to remember a melody. They give you a little tip there, how to play, right? Some of the healing, well, this is the heart pieces and the heart container, what they do if you've never been playing Zelda before up to this point. This is the map subscreen, so it lets you understand how to read a map. And what are the treasure chests and dungeon items are when you go into those like temples and dungeons, what kind of stuff that you can find. It can help you in your quest, like the map and compass. And of course you need lots of keys to go through the various doors, and at the very end you get a boss key to meet the boss, right? You gotta beat them and to reach the final boss at the end of the game, gradually. All right, so you can't play a long game like this without saving. You need to save. So you have a game over screen to tell you, oh, it's game over, but don't worry. Get back on your feet. Try again. You'll be fine. Would you like to save? Make sure to save, because it's important, because obviously you're going to start from the beginning. It's a long journey, right? And there are some tips for your adventure while you're playing the game. Discover Link as the age 7. Well, I'm not going to say too much, but there you go. You can see it right there for the folks that never play the game. So you can see they give imagery of Child Link and Adult Link, right? Tips for your adventure. What I like about this, you see right here, after everything that they explained, from the controls to the maps, the screens, to the items and enemies and so on and so forth. And this is just an instruction booklet. It's not even the player's guide. They give you tips on how to enjoy your adventure. This is really a nice touch on this instruction booklet. Beautiful, right? And everything is has a screenshot for you to understand what's going on. You can how to use the setting the C items, the C buttons on the Nintendo 64 controller. Again, that's to customize it. All enemies have weaknesses, so obviously you're looking for patterns, what they do, and maybe perhaps you can overcome them by observing them and how they do things. Fairy's Fountain, very helpful. And one of the beautiful things about this game is the music. Fairy's Fountain is one of them. Gerudo Valley. Oh, the markets, I can name it. Zora's Domain. It is a magnificent adventure with the music. I think that it holds the test of time. And to be quite honest, like Zora's Domain still make it to this day in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. That tells you the staying power of such beautiful music. And to end it off, it give you guys a little description of the Stone of Agony. There's a very interesting item if you have the Rumble Pack, and it will rumble when you're over a certain area that's you may not be aware of. Like, what's so special about that? It might be a hidden path or item or whatever it is. I won't say exactly what it is, but discover it. And if you have to go fishing, this game has a fishing game. It is an addictive game. Me and my friend will compete so much to get the biggest fish, and my gosh, we go back and forth for a long time. We're talking about like months on end. And I just love the beautiful imagery of Princess Zelda looking at Link as he looks in the far distance and looking like he wants to go on his adventure and save Hyrule once again, right? Or he may be on a date. Who knows? They have a section to write your notes. I didn't write any notes, but you're free to do so. Some information, and this ended off with Mario, the authorized repair center, and a number. And this number does work, by the way. Nintendo does use this number to modern day. And of course, Nintendo.com. It works. It's not like I'm promoting, but it really does work. All right, so that is the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. I'm gonna put everything together, and this is how it was back in 1998. It's crazy that we passed 25 years since this original landmark achievement release on the system, and I still look back to this day with fond memories. I feel a little tingling inside just thinking about it. Let me know again down below in the comments what your thoughts of Ocarina of Time, if you have any fond memories. Of course, if you enjoyed these retro unboxing, I do appreciate a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more episodes like this. I am Danny, and I'll catch you again on the next one.